Tesla and Solar City. Kevin Kelly is here. Musk is in the process of trying to combine these two companies. Where does that stand?
Well, this has been expected for a long time. I mean, everybody knew that he would have to go out and either raise new capital via equity or debt markets. But one of the things that shocked the market is with this Solar City deal is that it has a completely different business model as well as another significant cash burn. So not only does Tesla burn tons of cash, now they acquired another company that burns tons of cash. And Solar City, when you look at it, it's got the same business model as SunEdison, which went bankrupt on April 21st. So that's a problem. And that was also being reflected in Solar City's bond prices. So this whole merger just made it very complicated. So Tesla shareholders were really trying to figure out what the net benefit was to them, especially because Tesla trades at 300 times earnings and they're hoping they go into that growth. And Elon would focus on producing the cars because they've never met that expectation.
There's a serious financial squeeze, a cash crunch that's literally a few months away. There's a $422 million payment that's due to bondholders from Tesla in the third quarter. And then also there was in this filing yesterday, and this is in the Wall Street Journal, there were 15 institutional investors that passed on either acquiring Solar City or injecting equity into it. So people are afraid of that company, and he takes it on because what it looks like on the surface is that Solar City was going to go bankrupt, and he rescued it in a way that puts a burden now on Tesla shareholders.
Yeah, and it's important to note, though, that he was one of the biggest bondholders of Solar City, Elon Musk was, so he did kind of a bailout of himself, but that goes back to this was all transparent and telegraphed, right? Everybody knew that he owned, there was tons of conflicts of interest. Everybody knew he was in charge of
This was meant to resolve that.
Yeah, this was meant to resolve that.
He dreamed this up back in 2006. He just said this in an interview on Wednesday, that this is how he had envisioned Tesla's role in solar energy back in 2006 when he laid out his plan for Tesla. So, I mean, a lot's changed.
A lot has changed, but he hasn't executed on that plan. So that's the biggest issue they've had. They've had one production line they need to expand it to. They've never really delivered on the amount of cars they've wanted to. They've traded at a high valuation to this. And so now that they have this impending cash burn and they haven't been able to produce as many cars as they have, you know, it's a difficult situation because now the business model has completely changed. Remember, they were making cars, now lithium-ion batteries, and now they're a solar panel company. So you're trying to figure out the direction. Solar City is not a great company.
Solar City's business looks like a crap show. If you look at it, it's 10 years old, $1.5 billion in revenue, $3 billion in debt, high operating costs, and thin profit margins. I mean, that sounds worse than an airline.
All right. And to quote Gordon Johnson of Axiom Capital Management, he says Solar City needs emergency funds to keep operating. Yeah. And without the debt they issued to insiders, they wouldn't be able to cover their working capital.
Of course not.
And the debt issued to insiders was Elon Musk and his two cousins at Solar City, the chief executive and the technology, disclosed that they were buying more than 80% of the recent bond issue.
The bonds were pricing bankruptcy, just like SunEdison went bankrupt on April 21st. And then this deal comes out in June. So you have about 6 weeks later, this deal happens.
If I was a Tesla shareholder, I'd be doggone mad.
They are. A lot of them were.
A lot of them aren't Tesla shareholders anymore.
Right. Yeah. You can look at the stock price. It's being reflected in it.